Welcome, one and all, to the stupid idea I had of making a deck profile on 4 decks for Christmas because it's a dumb idea. So basically, what I'm doing now is I'm pre-recording the last two before I upload them. So what's happening is I've recorded the first one, uploaded that after I recorded it, recorded the second one, and I was about to upload it, and I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to record the last two, and then I'll upload all three sort of one after the other. So that way there's not like a huge gap between them, but also there's like, I'm more energetic as the day goes on. Well, not more energetic, but like, I keep the same level. So this is deck number 3. We have ourselves rockets. Now this deck is, as I said in the announcement, is probably the most consistent deck I have at the moment. And it's not the worst either. It's actually quite good. Again, I wouldn't say take it to tournaments expecting a win, but it can win against a fair few decks. And the whole reason I picked Borreload Savage as my playmat that I'm showcasing on, rather than the Trispania one I have, is because I was going to showcase this deck. So, let us begin. The very obvious Free Tracer. I mean, this is the best card in Rockets in the sense of the Rockets itself. Because you can't go wrong with Tracer. It's just a tuner. It's a level 4. It's a rocket itself, so it's affected by all rocket effects, and it has a pop effect which sets off other rockets, and that pop effect gets you another body on board. And the pop isn't limited to monsters, so you can just pop a field spell or a phase or spell and trap. So good. Yeah, there's no reason not to run 3 of that because how good it is. Next, we've got 3 of the entire rocket engine. So we have silver, we have magna, and we have metal. Now, reason being is metal is a very good, basically attack point wise. They do have good effects as well, obviously when they're targeted by a link, but that doesn't happen often in this build, so it's more about their attack points, I'm not going to lie to you. And you know what? The fact that all but one of them are foil, like hollow, in fact, to the point where one of them's an ultra, is quite nice as well, but obviously it's more just lol, they have big attack points in case I have to leave it on board. Plus, Silver Rocket's Banish effect is nice, Magna Rocket's Pop effect is nice, and I can't remember what Metal Rocket does, it's just there, because I needed more rockets in the body of this deck. Next, we have double defrag. Reason we're running 2 defrag is basically because it's a free body on board by sending 1 to grave. So it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still quite good because it's a free body on board, which in this deck is not vital, but it's like the rains in Africa. It's not, well, actually no, that is kind of vital, and I really hope they get rain. Trying to think of a good way to put it then. I went down the musical route with Toto, and that didn't really work out for me, did it? It's basically like a toaster. Yeah, you can use your oven to make toast, but if you can get a toaster to make even more toast, you're not going to complain about the additional toast. Unless you hate toast, in which case, why would you even use the oven for it? My analogies are really going downhill. Is it obvious that it's like midnight? Next. Triple Absoluta. It searches Tracer. And it special summons if there's a rocket. And that is all I will say on the matter. I don't think I need to explain it any further. Next, we have another triple of, which I never used to run, more because I couldn't afford it. I'm not going to lie to you. It was more I couldn't afford it, but now I can afford it. Triple Leveneer. And the premium gold version too. Oh, makes me moist. Yeah, Leveneer, basically this entire deck is dark, except I think 1 main deck monster. That's it. So you always get the get rid of from their hand effect, which is really good because it can like set your opponent back even further. Quite nice. I will say this deck is very susceptible to Nibiru. I'm not going to lie to you here. Nibiru is a very big problem for this deck. So if they have Nibiru, there is a high likelihood you're fucked. Anyway, let's continue. Red Eyes. So this deck really wants to pull off a certain combo. And Red Eyes really helps with that combo. So this is kind of like a Dragon Link build. And when I'm done showcasing this, I will show why it's so effective at being, you know, lol, I can basically make this work out of nothing. So yeah, this deck's very consistent, and part of the reason is Red Eyes. It really adds to the consistency. Yes, I'm playing it by the errata. I'm not like one of the people who go, oh, there's an errata, I don't want to play it. Tell a lie, I was like that originally, but I've worked out how to make it work even with the errata, so it really poses no problem. So I just play it with the errata now, because obviously you've got to for official rules anyway. For the last main deck monster that isn't a hand trap, we have Tempest, because it's a dragon deck. Tempest is a free body on board. Please tell me why I shouldn't run this. It's really good. Because especially with dragons, there's so many ways to send it to grave. It's fucking crazy. Next, we have 2 Effect Veilers for our hand trap. And we also have 2 Premium Gold Ghost Spells. Obviously, you can Ash Blossom. You could even send 2 of those and an Effect Veiler for Nibiru. It's just, obviously, this is personally how I want to run it. Because, obviously, graveyard effects can fuck you. Because, obviously, if they target your graveyard, an Effect Veiler just shuts down the opponent's effects, which can shut down their entire strategy. So, again, they're really good. They're the only... Them and Tempest are the only non-darks. So, and even then, Effect Veilers are light, so if you really wanted to, you could get the 2 darks, 1 light effect off of Leveneer as well. So, next, we're going for the field spells. So I go for 2 Boot and 2 Ravine, because they're both searchable. And I'm not talking about terraforming, I'm talking about extra deck searchable, which is really good. So, you don't really need to run more than 2. Technically, you could even get away with 1 each, but I like to plan for turn 3, because if I'm going first, turn 1, I make a massive board. My opponent makes a board, maybe breaks my board. I need to be able to make something afterwards. So having 2 of each is quite nice to be able to add to the board I have. So that's why. Next we have, talking of dumping dragons, Dragon Shrine at 3. Again, it's to dump Absolute or it's to dump Tempest. And it's to dump literally any dragon to get Tempest's effect off if need be. No reason not to. Dumping dragons is a fucking amazing effect. Hence why Dragon Ravine was limited at one point. Quick Launch at 3, because it just ups the consistency of the deck. Basically, you get a free Rokket. And Rockets are very good at making this deck work. Hence why it's a Rokket deck. I didn't just straight up call it a Dragon Link deck, because technically it is, but I like to call it Rockets because it does focus quite a bit on the rocket engine. Next, 1 Return, because it gets you your high level Absoluta or your Borreload Savage, and also does a protection effect. But because how hyper consistent I want this deck to be, I don't want to run into this if possible. If like until like late game, or maybe in the first hand to discard off for like Dragon Ravine effect, so I can get the protection effect at the same time. But I don't want to see it in my first hand normally, so I don't really care about it too much. Oh, there we go. Next, Boyish Burial, just again to dump dragons. Monster Reborn, to get a dragon from grave to up the Dragon Link plays, also to steal an opponent's graveyard monster to fuck them over. And Pot of Avarice, because there is a fuck ton in the graveyard by the time you're done with even your first turn if you pull off the combo. So, yeah. Yeah, that's really good. And then for the extra, obviously, why not? Then we're going into the links. Literally, it's one synchro and the rest are links. We have our Link 1 engine for the rocket combo. So obviously you have your Striker Dragon to search out boot sector, and then you have your 2 Guard Dragons for the Dragon Links. Because, yeah, you kind of need that. Next we have Quad Borrel to get the instant negate engrave, in the sense of, like, when you bring out Borrelode Savage, you can just equip Quad Borrel if you have really bad hand. So it's still able to get a negate on board by doing it that way. Then we have our Beat Cop, we have our Heavenly Spheres, we have our Romulus, and we have our IP Masquerader. Beat Cop, they're all dark, so you can put a token onto Borrelode Savage to protect it even more. Heraldic Seal is really good, because it's just lol, bounce a monster and get a free monster to the field. With its effects negated and 0, actually I don't even know if it's effects negated, it's just 0/0 attack. Just bring Absoluter out, so then when you link it, you can get even more fucking pluses. Then we've got our Romulus to get the Dragon Ravine I was on about earlier, that's the Searcher, and then IP Masquerader is just a all-round good link too. Like, again, this is like a Dragon Link deck, so you're going into links crazily fast, so can't go wrong. Then Nightmare Unicorn for the IP, and Triple Burst, because battle effect negates. Again, you can't go wrong with those. Borrelode, lose 500 attack, steal the monster, always good. Borrel Sword, because obviously OTK potential maybe if you get past the board of negates. Saryuya, because it ups the consistency, because you can draw into more cards. And finally, Appaloosa, because again, it's just stopping your opponent from doing anything, which is hilarious. And if you don't use Rocket Tracer's effect in the first turn, if possible, you can even get a Borrelode Savage with 3 counters and an Appaloosa out. So to give you an idea how this works, I'm going to give myself, I think the best you can have is 3 rockets of different names in your hand to begin with. But I think it still works with 2. So I'm going to try it with 2 actually. And then the other cards are don't matter what they are. So let's give myself 3 hand traps. Done. So the combo is actually really dumb. I like it. So actually it does matter slightly, because you either need a 3rd rocket or a dumper. So I'm going to give myself a dumper. I'm going to give myself a Dragon Shrine. Because again, even with a rocket, it don't matter. It's just more, you know, it doesn't really matter too much as long as it's either a dumper or a dragon or a rocket. So let's play it like this. So let's go Dragon Shrine effect to dump. Bear in mind, I'm not even shuffled the deck. It's still in order because you don't draw. There's no draws. So effect of Absoluter, get yourself the Tracer. Normal summon Magna effect, Magna Link, sorry, not effect, I'm dumb. So Magna Link into, where is it, Striker effect, search the field spell, bump, activate field spell effect, go into Tracer and Magna, Metal, link Metal and Striker. Go into Romulus effect, searching the Dragon Ravine. Send that, go into Dragon Ravine effect, discard, hence why I gave myself a hand. Sending, I've already sent Absoluter, so I can't give myself a rocket. So what I'll do is I'll send Tempest. Ooh, I've screwed up already, haven't I? Yeah, I've screwed up already. I'm dumb. So put that back in deck. Doesn't matter where, because again, I'm not drawing. Keep that. Again, that. Put that back. Again, doesn't matter because I'm not drawing. So let's remember, how does this work? How does this work? I've normal summoned. I might have screwed up on a big scale here. So what I'm going to do is use Trace of the Pop Boot Sector to give myself a third. So I'm now locked out of non-darks, which kind of sucks because that means I can't Heraldic Seal, but I can work with this. So then you link. In fact, I don't even need to do that. Why am I doing that? I'm so dumb. Because I've had Romulus. Oh no, Romulus is only because of that. So yeah, I do need to do that. Yeah. Send that. Romulus is there. Striker is still. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. This should be a lot easier to explain, but I'm dumbing it. So then you do that. You can no longer go into, but then what you do is you'll still link those two into Romulus. Romulus will still search the Ravine. Ravine will still activate. Ravine will still discard that boy. What's this? Yeah, that's still Rocket from earlier, so just yeet that back to the top for now. So as I said, there's no like drawing. And then send the Tempest. And then you link these two, not together, but you link them separately, but I'm just doing it for the sake of brevity. Going to those two. LP effect going into that boy's effect, bringing back the Tracer. Link those. Bear in mind, I haven't gone into a non-dark since I've used the effect, which is quite nice. Triple burst is a dark, so going to triple. And effect a Pitsy to go into Silver Rocket. Is it in general or is it like from extra deck? Yeah, so it's only extra decks that I'm limited to, which is really good, because then what I'll do is from Grave, banish Striker and Metal to go into Tempest to give myself an extra body on board. Then what you do is you need to link away Triple Burst. So I can't go into any non-dark, so looking at it, my best bet is to dark and dark. Yeah, dark and dark, these two, into Beat Cop. Then, so I don't accidentally use them up, I'm going to synchro these two already into Savage. Effect Savage to equip it with triple. Bear in mind, as I said, this is really open to hand traps. There's not really any hand trap negates I can do. So that's now got 3 counters. Effect Beat Cop, Tribute. It's now got an additional counter. And then what you could potentially do is link those into IP. Or what might be smarter is link those two into... Can I go into that? No, it has to include a rocket. So linking them does nothing. So what you've done is kind of left yourself with a LP, which isn't ideal, and a Tempest. But you have set up for the next turn. So I think that's more because I screwed up. Because if I didn't screw up at one point, I could have linked those two into the Heraldic. Because obviously they're both dragons. But you can see sort of how hyper consistent this is. Because as long as you have 2 rockets and a dump, or some form of variations of like a dump, a rocket and a search, or like a quick launch or whatever. So the deck is still consistent. It's got its consistencies. It's not like it's not amazing, hence why I said don't take it to tournaments expecting a win. But the fact that you can set up a triple Borrowload, Borrowload Savage is kind of dumb. So yeah, that's the deck profile and a sort of idea why it's kind of good but not amazing. So as I said, I'm never going to hype these up as, oh my god, they're the best deck ever. You should be playing these at tournaments and winning. I'm no Sam from Team Samurai or like anyone else. I'm blanking on you YouTubers now, but yeah, I'm not amazing at deck building. I'm just like enjoying the decks I have fun with, and this is a hyper consistent fun deck. So hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ta-ta.